Hi everyone, and welcome back to A Moment with Hales, my garden tour edition. I think this is garden tour number 3 for my 2025 season. I'm excited to show you what we have going on in the garden. And first we have our green beans here, which have really exploded. But I have a ton of green beans to harvest, so I'm gonna work on picking these green beans. But I do want to tell you guys, as I'm doing this, why I love green beans so much. So green beans, if you're a beginner gardener, I highly recommend planting green beans. For green beans, you can do either bush beans, which is what I have here. I have jade green bean bush beans. Or you can do pole beans, which crawl really beautifully. If you want to do like a large trellis like this, they're very, very nice. The other thing about them is they're easy to eat. You can literally just eat them right when you harvest them. I don't use any chemicals, so I'm good to eat these. So they're a really good snack to quickly enjoy, but also they're really easy to can. So if you're someone who's kind of wants to dip your toe in the water of getting into canning, these are by far the easiest ones that you can grow and can if you're kind of beginning that journey. So I'm gonna go through and pick a bunch more over here, maybe do some canning this afternoon. So let me see what I have so far. Okay, so I harvested a couple other things earlier, but these are the green beans we got. So a pretty good haul so far for today. Here I have my herb garden, which I decided to try for the first time. I have dill, parsley, basil, and lemon balm, eucalyptus, lavender, mint, a few different things going. And I do want to try to make oregano like essential oil at some point. I haven't been able to figure out how to do that yet, but let's go ahead. I'm going to harvest some parsley, some basil, and a couple other things as well. As I do this, I'm just going to tease my coffee and conspiracy episode coming up. And I am going to be talking about the conspiracy of the front lawn or grass, which is an interesting one. And as I'm looking at this, it's so beautiful, all these herbs. If you are someone that's considering landscaping your front yard, I would highly recommend looking into edible landscape and planting herbs that are native to your area. And you can just have a beautiful little herb garden that's part of your landscape. One of my friends, my sister-in-law, actually showed me a picture of her basil. It looks like a bush. I mean, it's beautiful. And that is something that you could definitely grow if it's native to your area or something that grows really well. And then you have a beautiful landscape that's not only beautiful, but better for the environment than grass, and is also a useful crop for you to grow and spend your time maintaining. All right, I've got some mint, parsley, and lemon balm and basil in here. And here I have my cucumber trellis. This one's looking good. I don't know if it's ready yet. I think that one's quite ready. And I do also have a lot of yellowing leaves, and I go through and prune as regularly as I can and just try to get all the yellow leaves off. All right, it looks like I got one cucumber, another cucumber. I'm also finding lots of eggs. It's been raining here, so I'm finding eggs and like lots of insects. So hopefully those, I can use some neem oil and get those away. And I got a decent amount of cucumbers here. I am a little bit worried about the critters I'm seeing, so I'm hoping I don't have cucumber beetles, but I guess we'll find out. Here we have our beautiful cantaloupe trellis, and we do have some little tiny cantaloupes starting that I found. I have one right here, and this one looks like maybe it's going to start. I saw a couple other ones over here. This little guy, and we also have one that's going, yeah, pretty far along. Nope, it is. So that's going to be our first one for the season, which is exciting. So I'm seeing a ton of bees out here right now, so I'm hoping that they're definitely going to pollinate so we can get some more melons. For those that watch my YouTube shorts, this zucchini plant is doing better. It had some powdery mildew mix. It still has a little bit on these leaves, but it is looking better. I sprayed it with neem oil and the zucchinis still look okay on it. So I do need to zip tie this up to the cage here, which I did with this one. So let me work on that. And here I have my onion bed, which I did do some research because this is the first time that I have done onions, so I didn't know how to tell when they are ready. And from what I can tell is the tops will fall over when they're ready to be harvested. So these are still standing pretty straight up. So we'll see. They said maybe July or August, and we'll go from there. Here we have my little corn field. I did 2 rows of corn this year. I did sweet corn and corn that you can pop, so popcorn corn. I don't know what the proper name is for it, but the storm did knock over quite a few of my corn stalks, so I put a board here to try to support them a little bit more, but I don't know, I may have lost like half of them, which makes me sad because I love growing corn. So I might try to do one more round. It's kind of late in the season, but I might go ahead and give it a go. Some of these already are showing, I don't know what the proper name is for this, but this portion. And we'll see that the bees will come through and pollinate, and hopefully I'll have some corn maybe in the next month or so. I'm happy to be in the shade for a second. I definitely didn't time this well. The sun is like beating down. It is so hot outside. But anyways, here I have my carrots, which are looking good. We pulled some carrots out this morning when I did my live garden tour. I was worried that they were going to start bolting, which means producing the flowers, and that can make them taste woody. But I'm thinking I need to make a plan. I think I'm going to freeze a lot of these, which I'll show you videos of once I do it. But I also want to say too, I hate thinning. So when you plant carrots, what I did was just put a ton of seeds just in a row. And when you plant them, you're supposed to actually thin them out as they grow. And I'm terrible at thinning. And I have my little ones here that are starting my second round that I really should thin. But the problem is when you don't thin, this is what happens. You get tiny little carrots because there's not enough room for the larger carrots to grow. So I'll show you. So same thing here. This looked like a ginormous stalk, right? And this was the tiny carrot, and it's because I didn't thin them. So if you're like me and struggle with thinning, let this be a lesson. You really want to thin them because it's not worth growing carrots this size. So while I'm sitting here, I'm gonna go ahead in the shade and thin out my second round of carrots because I'm seeing that I made a pretty big mistake not thinning. Let's go look at this one. Oh, this one's a little bit better, but still tiny carrots. So I'll show you, this was just, I obviously put a ton of seeds in here. So I'm just gonna go through and pull out the smaller ones. I'm gonna leave that one and then that one next to it. So they're spaced out a little bit more. I'm dying over this many thinned carrots. I definitely put too many seeds in the ground, so I'll remember that for my next round. I looked it up online. You can put these in soups or make a pesto or throw them in salads, but chickens really like them too, so I'm gonna give them to the girls. All right, let's see. Oh, they do like them. I wasn't expecting that. All right, well, it makes me feel like it's not so much of a waste if my girls get to enjoy a healthy snack. Added in those carrots to our basket, and I think over here I have some cherry tomatoes that are ready. Let's see how they taste. Oh my gosh, so fresh. This is the same type of tomato plant. There's 2 in there, and it's already growing super tall, and it looks like I do need to do a little bit of trimming in here and pull away all, like I said, I do try to pull off any dead or yellowing leaves so there's still airflow down at the bottom of my tomatoes and there's no disease that's going to be hanging out here. But this plant looks like it is changing as well. So hopefully pretty soon we're going to have a ton of cherry tomatoes, and I'm not going to know what to do with all of them. We also added cucamelon to our garden this year. It grows really beautifully up these trellises. I mean, it's just grown amazing, and one of my goals was to have something trellis to the top, and it looks like we have arrived. But I will say cucamelons, if you're looking to grow them, first of all, don't grow this many. Secondly, the taste is not, they're really just cucumbers. Like cucamelon, I think, was a little deceiving for me. I thought they'd be a little bit sweeter. But they are like just mini cucumbers. So I'll cut them up and put them into a salad. And we also pickled some this weekend. We'll like them better that way, but my niece says they taste like freshly cut grass. They're very earthy, so not my favorite flavor, but I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with all of these. I feel like there's gotta be some more recipes out there. So I'm gonna keep looking, but they grow and look really beautiful on a trellis. Here are the cucamelons up close so you can see. See, I think it's more, it just looks like a melon, but it tastes like a cucumber. I thought it would taste a little more melony. But while I'm picking these here, I do want to just also mention my playlist, Coffee and Conspiracy. I know I talked about lawn and grass. Hopefully I'll get that up soon. I do have a couple other episodes on random things, like I did one on life log, I did one on the military industrial complex, I did one on weather modification. That got me a little community note on YouTube and also got taken down off TikTok. They didn't like that one. I got a strike or whatever. Oh, I did one on television. I also did one on technocracy and a few other things. So make sure you check it out if you're interested. And I added the cucamelons into our little harvest. I also have some sunflowers going in this area, and I have these 2 lettuces that are really getting ready to bolt, kind of the end of their season. I planted new lettuce in my lettuce bed, so I'm just gonna pull these out. I'm gonna use the scissors, cut them, and just bring them inside for a salad tonight. I also have over here this spinach, and it is getting ready to bolt. I'm like shocked they haven't all bolted yet. This one definitely is bolting, so we'll get harvest some seeds from this one. And this one over here. So these are coming to the end of their season too. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest as much as I can from them, and I'll be making a spinach and feta quiche tonight. I have my little spinach bouquet here. And last but certainly not least, I have my pepper plants here. I have never successfully grown peppers, you guys, so I have a bunch of little ones starting, but look at this one. It is looking very beautiful, and I'm wondering if it's ready to harvest. Should we go for it? Let's wait, we'll wait. But yeah, it's looking really good, and there's a few other green peppers around it. So this is another one of my husband's favorite. It's the lettuce, the cantaloupe, and the green peppers, which I've never had green peppers for him in any of the seasons. So I'm excited to at least give him one successful one, and we'll see how the rest come along. Okay friends, that concludes today's garden tour. I hope you enjoyed everything that we have going on here in our 2025 season. I will be keeping you updated. If you'd like to see how I use a lot of these items in the garden, make sure you follow along. Check out my other playlists. I do have the Coffee and Conspiracy, Technocracy Loading, and then I do a podcast on Tuesdays and Fridays here on YouTube, also on Spotify, Apple, wherever, and it just helps us get our day started with a biblical perspective. So if you'd like to take a listen to any of that, feel free to check it out. Thanks for coming along with me, and I'll be talking to you soon.